my parents are very easy to talk to. So, you know, I let them know, like, I'm not really sure about this degree. I mean,
And here he is.
I am here, black as ever.
you guys, the prompt is the next thing. If you're not on, get on, okay?
That it's not easy, like, you know, where you miss home, where you miss family, and, you know, for you, like, look at even what you're wearing. Like, you know, you're representing, you know, African, all that, and you inspired me to even look much more into my, you know, heritage and everything. So how important is that to you, you know, the African culture?
Oh, it's extremely important. My culture, I would say, is the core of who I am because, you know, as much as, yes, I travel and I live in all of these different countries, it's like, where does it all go back to? It all goes back to the motherland. That's where it all started. And when you go out there and meet different people and different cultures, it kind of makes you realize, like, rah, my culture is absolutely beautiful as well. You know, we live in such a interconnected world. Everybody is in tune with what's happening in America, what's happening in, I don't know, China, Canada. We're also interconnected, that finding diversity is so beautiful. So everywhere I go, I represent 254 Nairobi, Kenya. Everywhere, like, it's a must. And like you said, it's very hard living outside of home. You miss your family, and people back home don't realize that. Like, being homesick is not easy. It's extremely difficult. And sometimes I do feel like an outsider because when you're out here, you're obviously foreign. But then when you go back home, your own people treat you like you're foreign as well. And
Exactly.
it's like, where do I fit in? Where do I fit in? So it's very difficult, like, trying to balance being influenced by more than one culture, but then also staying true to your culture. You know what I mean? Because sometimes when I go back home, I feel like I'm not Kenyan enough. And I feel like I've missed out on so much that's happening. And yeah, that balance, finding that balance is very difficult. But yeah, my identity is extremely important, my heritage, everything. Even though my Swahili is very bad, I still try.
I know what you're talking about, you know, I really know. You know, one thing that I've realized about African kids, you know, that no matter where you go, you always have your parents in your head. Like, I
Oh
cannot
yeah.
do this. This looks very interesting, but if I, you know, and you know, how important of a role has that played in your life? Because you'd have gone to all these countries and been a mess because you have seen that time and time again from people from everywhere, you know, where they leave their home, they come back something else. But look at us, we come back now and they're looking more motivated to inspire others.
Mm. I would just say it goes back to your character and where your morals stand because, for example, like, we both lived in Brazil and we know how crazy Brazilians can get. But at the same time, we know we have our own morals that our parents have instilled in us, and we also have our own character. So even though we've lived in Brazil for I don't know how many years, and you're still in Brazil,
Yeah.
um, it's up to us to basically decide, like, how much is this culture gonna influence us, and what exactly are you going to take from this culture and what lessons are you going to take? So it's up to the individual. But for me, I really don't think another culture can shape me as much as the African culture does, because everything I do, I can just hear like my mother, my mother's voice every day. So yeah.
Let's also talk about peer pressure, because like a lot of these days you find people with good characters, but then they get carried away like, oh, what is this one going to say about this? What is this one going to say? Or I want to fit in. So how does one stay in but still be respected? What is your perspective?
Oh, peer pressure. Sadly, this is something that we as young people deal with pretty much every day. I would say just, yeah, it all goes back to your morals and your character and who you are. So as much as, yes, you might want to fit in and do all of these crazy things, just ask yourself, is it really worth it? And, think about the long-term effects. I think in this generation, we get so caught up in like short-term enjoyment and short-term fulfillment or happiness that we forget about the long term. Like, think about how this thing is going to affect you right now, but most importantly in the future. So invest in yourself in that way and throw away anything that's trying to, get in your way of your glow up, of your growth, your transformation. Yeah.
That's a deep motivation right there. So, when I look at you, maybe I'm thinking like 2020 has been heavenly and everything is just okay. So, how has that year been? This year been for you?
Ooh, 2020, an interesting year for all of us. Personally, my 2020, if I were to rate it, I would say it's been like a 5 out of 10, average. It hasn't been that bad, mainly because the city that I live in has not been hit so bad by what's going on in the world right now, but we have been affected in some way. But 2020, I think this has been such a humbling year for a lot of people. And yeah, it has taught me like the importance of gratitude, humility, and also not being fearful. So being fearless, life is too short. Take that chance. If you want to start a business, go ahead and start. If you want to, I don't know, start learning a new musical instrument, go ahead and start. It's all about taking a chance and taking that extra step. It doesn't matter if you fail, because the most important thing is that you made that step. Yeah.
Most definitely, even like for me, I feel like one thing I really struggled with is creating opportunity. And like except from you and maybe two other people, the other people, they never knew me, they never knew who I was, but because of how I carried myself and branded myself, they were able to respect me and come and realize that, oh, they're not doing me a favor, we're doing each other a favor, because it's not about us now, it's all about the future generation and other peers, because what is life just working on your own, so that's
Exactly.
it. What are you looking forward to for like 2021? Like big optimistic, be as always. Yeah.
Hey, 2021, I'm looking for financial stability. Okay, these architecture materials are quite expensive, all right? And I need financial stability, not just for school, but also for my personal enjoyment. Okay, we're trying to enjoy ourselves after this bumpy year, and financial stability. Amen.
Okay. No, as for me, I am trying to get obviously to a more broader audience and definitely creating more memories. I feel like I haven't had so many crazy stories, so I really need that. But obviously, with the African morals in my head. So, is there anything else you want to say, or anything
Yeah.
anyone?
First of all, I just want to give a big shout out to you for having me here. A big shout out, just knowing you, learning from you. And this is so great what you're doing. Ever since the channel started, I've watched it grow. I watched every single video. And I'm so, so proud of you, my brother from another mother. Keep on grinding, keep going. You guys, the prompt is the next thing. If you're not on, get on, okay? That's the message.
Obviously, a lot of people don't understand that sometimes it's not easy, Sometimes you get rejected, somebody says no, and then you're like, should I give up? But it's people like you who are always consistently giving me ideas, do this, do that, and I appreciate it,
Mm-hmm.
So anybody who wants to come to the prompt and be an influencer. So now you're an influencer now. I don't know if you can add that, DM me or send me an email. My email will be down below. And thank you